Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show on this Friday, the 11th of March, 2022. I hope you guys enjoyed my picture quality yesterday. I'll tell you, that was pretty bad, but I had lighting problems. But I got a little bit better today. It's working out a little bit better today. And anyway, let's move on with the show. Here's the thing, guys. In a couple over the last couple weeks, this war situation in Ukraine a number of days ago uh, was escalating really rapidly, and it took us closer to all-out war than at any point I remember during the Cold War. Now, I grew up during the Cold War, so I know what it was like, and especially when the Russians were attacking the nuclear power plant, if you remember that, in Ukraine, and that was a very tense, very, very tense situation that occurred there. And things were bad right then and descending very quickly toward escalation of the entire situation. But now what's happened is things have like settled down a little bit, and the Russians have settled down to trying to take Kiev now, which might take weeks. They're basically surrounding the city, and it's a city it's like a lot of people there, like 2 million people or something. It's a massive city, sprawling city, big, huge city, and they're trying to take it. It's not good. The situation's not good. But it doesn't seem to be escalating right now with the ferocity that it was a number of days ago. It's more or less settled in a little bit more. War's never good. We hope to get rid of it really soon because it's always a danger. It's a present danger there that it could suddenly escalate out of control. This war is in a very dangerous region because for escalating out of control, because all the countries, or most of them, that surround, except for Moldova, almost all the connecting countries that are around Ukraine are countries that are under NATO control. They are NATO member states, and NATO has a policy that if one NATO member state is attacked in any way, then they all declare war on the attacker. And this is called Article 5, I believe it's called. They invoke Article 5. And that would mean global war. Seriously. And things could escalate once global war, if we were to go into global war, things could escalate very quickly. So all those neighboring countries, if somehow this war were to spill out into a neighboring country like Poland or Romania, this could escalate very quickly. So this is it's still a very tense situation over there in Ukraine. We got to keep our eye right on it. But for now, it seems that the war is staying inside Ukraine, which is good because we don't want global war. Anyway, listen, guys, let's get in there and take a look at the markets today. Let's open up the charts right here. What we're going to take a look at is the silver price today, and it is $25.83. It's down 4 cents. Inflation right now. They just put in an inflation number of 7.9, almost 8, on the official CPI. You can just double that, guys. Actually, more. I think that's an underestimation with the speed inflation's moving forward right now, especially because gasoline prices have went so high. Now, they've tapered back a little bit. I think it's back down to $109 a day for a barrel. But still, tremendous price for oil is going to spill over into almost every other product you buy, because at the very least, they have to get it to where you want to buy it, and that costs oil to to deliver it from one point to another. Packaging is often made with oil or oil-based products. Even the fields, when they produce it, they have anything like you're going to buy food or whatever. They have to run the tractors and stuff, and the farmers have to use a lot of energy's everything. And the cost of energy is everything to do with it. Has an awful lot to do with inflation. Inflation in food is going to be tremendous right now. You're going to see daily increases in the price of food. We've already seen daily increases in the price of gasoline. That's pretty obvious, right? So we're looking at a silver price of $25.84 today. It's down 4 cents on the day, but it looks like it's found a new range. Traveling in a very narrow band here, actually. In a price rate, it's in the center of it right now, in the center of the range at $25.84. Let's take a look at gold. Gold is $19.80. It's a little bit below its range right here. Its range would be right around the $2,000 mark, maybe slightly under 2,000. And it's down $16.50 on the day. Let's take a look at cryptos and see what they're doing today. $17.54 versus page $17.46, so it's dropping a little bit. Looking at a Bitcoin price of $39,105 today. Let's check the Dow Jones. And we're looking at 90 points to the upside today at 33,264 with the Dow Jones today. It hasn't went anywhere in like a year. It's been hovering, like it was up to, I think its highs were in the 36,000 range there, but it's hovered back a little bit from that, but it's not going anywhere. Not right now. And a lot of that has to do with what the Fed's actions are right now. The markets became unstable when the Ukraine crisis was unstable there a number of days ago, especially around that time when they were attacking that nuclear power plant. That was a time when the markets were basically very unstable. And things have cooled off just a little bit. The markets have found a little bit more stability now than they were a few days ago. But this thing, because it's not done over there, it could heat up and come back worse than ever. War's like a blooming infection, is what it's like. It's like if you got a body, and say you were to go out and you were to cut yourself someplace. Say you cut yourself on your hand, and you got some sort of staph infection or strep infection, and it was all swelled up and red and hot and throbbing, and it was growing infection. Normally you go to the doctor and they give you antibiotics for that. Well, that's what a war is like. It's like an infection on the body of humanity. So it's like an infected area, and any infected area can grow larger really fast. It can get out of control. It can cause blood poisoning. It can kill the patient. And that's, of course, what nuclear war would be. It would be an out-of-control infection. That's what it's like. Anyway, let's move on. Dow Jones, we're going to take a look at oil. $107. It's plus $1. Up $1 today, $1.02. It's up. 107.04. That's an extremely high price for oil. That's why you're paying a lot at the pump. Of course, they gouge you a little bit too. So, however much the price of oil goes up, they gouge you a little bit more than the price of oil went up anyway. And then if the price of oil comes back down a little bit, like I think it went up to like 120 something, now it comes back down to 107. They'll raise the price up to the equivalent of $120 per barrel, and then they won't bring it back down any when the price comes back down to 107. They'll be like, they want to keep the profits. They want to keep the extra profits. Once they get you used to a new higher price, and they figure, yeah, you're going to pay it, then they like to keep it there, and they don't come down unless something really big happens to force them to bring it back down again. Uh, Greed in the system that's being run right now, greed is so rampant, and there's so much uh, uh, what's the word I'm looking for? Uh, Corruption throughout the system. A system like that is not a good foundation for the world anyway, and ultimately it's like a foundation that's built on sand, you know, on shifting sand. It's like if you went out to the swamp and you tried to build a house and you build it on the mud, you know, that shifting mud on the side of the swamp. I mean, the house's foundation's going to crack all to pieces. It's not a solid foundation for a system they built on corruption. And it's all the way through this system, you know? Uh, it's kind of like iron mixed with clay, you know? That's what the system's like. Anyway, let's move on a little bit here, and what we're going to take a look at is the move index. And you can see she's come back down a little bit, guys. She was up higher. She was up to 133, and now she's come back down to 105. And you can see that the move index is a real indicator of instability within the system. You can see that. The system stabilized just a little bit. The move index come down from 133 to 105, so all the markets have stabilized a little bit now. But this is very tentative. This is like a because the war is still going. It could all flare up again, you know. Overnight, it could. Let's take a look now at bonds and rates, and we're seeing the bonds have stabilized too. The movements in the bonds are not near as great. We're looking at a 10-year, 2%. And we're looking at a U.S. 30-year at 2.37. And the U.S. 30 years dropped 1.7 basis points. 10 years up, almost no movement at all. And the bonds are not moving very much today. Like, it's only 1 or 2 basis points, which is, considering the volatility we've had lately, that's not much movement. Okay, let's take a look at the U.S. dollar index today. And it's choppy. There's a lot of volatility in the dollar, but it's going sideways today at 98.72. So we got a fairly strong dollar right now in comparison to the other fiat currencies, mostly compared against the euro. Heard the European Central Bank is also going to end their stimulus programs. All the banks right now are into this ending of stimulus, fighting inflation sort of a deal, raising interest rates. In other words, they're all being tight right now, all the central banks, trying to stem off this inflation. But they're a day late and a dollar short. That's basically the size of it. Thank you guys for listening to my show. Like and subscribe, and we'll catch you guys in the very next episode. You guys have a great day. Bye-bye.